Hello again, and welcome to another episode of Behind the Lava Lava. I am your host, Johnny, and here I'm joined with the usual suspects, Michael Tan and Milford, Tiafala. Well, today we have for you a special guest. His name is Julius Brown. We know him. He's a good friend from years of spent together in 29 Palms in the Marine Corps. And so we're going to introduce him today and then kind of give you a rundown of how his life has been, where he started, where he's at, and a couple of qualifications. The reason why we found him interesting to be included in our podcast based on his background and training. And so first off, I'd like to introduce you to, or I'm going to give the floor over to Jay Brown. Tell us a bit about yourself, name, age, relationship status, where you're currently at, and how you got where you got.
You know, I grew up in Samoa, in Kukuila, American Samoa, till I was 10. I moved to LA when, around that same time in the 2000s. Grew up in Long Beach. That's where I spent the majority of my young adult life. Joined the Marine Corps, fresh out of high school. Became a tank crewman over there at 29 Palms. That's how I ended up linking up with Johnny and T and Saya, everybody else he just mentioned before. Currently, I'm working doing federal security for the Presidio Monterey, so I stay in the area. I'm a sergeant over there. I was explaining to the guys before I got sent to all these police schools, rangemaster, certified through California Post, active shooter instructor, do the same thing. Then, the smaller stuff, TAC Med. Yeah, all that good stuff that Johnny wanted to talk about earlier.
So Jay, what made you become a instructor?
Pretty much, I wanted originally. I did it because it was something like more towards promotion. Because a lot of the people in charge, I'm not gonna say any specific names, but I started realizing. I'm pretty sure T hears me on this. There were a couple people, bro, they were honestly underqualified, unqualified at that, right? So it's kind of one of those things when you go into a field like law enforcement or security or even the military. All of us were Marines. It's kind of one of those, like having a sergeant that is kind of like he doesn't know what he's doing, right? But it's just all talk. Like, you're never gonna fully listen to him, right? I didn't want people feeling that same way about me, so I started pushing my higher ups. Hey, we need to start sending people to these schools. I'll be the first to go. If I fail out, I'll take the hit for it, pretty much. Yeah, and then it ended up working, bro. I had to put in 3 years of constantly slaving away for these guys until they finally gave in and started giving me what I wanted. But it was pretty much everything I do at my job is pretty much for. It's never for people higher than me. Like I feel like when you work under people, the good you do for them is not make them look bad. It's like what you do with your parents, right? Like, don't disgrace your family. That's your only favor, to them. But you got to take care of your younger siblings. So stuff like that, bro. I went to the range. Because you guys got to understand, right? These dudes, they're cut from a different cloth, and it's no offense to saying that to like the Army, the Air Force, the Navy, some coasties we got. Well, the majority of them couldn't shoot, bro. We were at these ranges, bro. We're supposed to be. This is our whole point in life, right? We're armed federal security guards, and here I am looking at them shooting from 5 meters away, and it's like they're missing everything, and I'm like, well, shit. How am I supposed to feel safe? That's when I requested the rangemaster school. Hey, send me to rangemaster school so I could get certified to train these dudes. Yeah, they did that. The active shooter thing came with all the events going on. But this was it's nothing new. We see it on the news all the time. You never know when it's going to happen. And I feel like that's important. So I started pushing my higher ups to see if we could get some of these schooling through California Post, and then they adhere to it, So being an instructor is mainly to try to, for me, is basically to try to improve, get this unit up that I'm at. Well, not a unit, but get this work environment up, make sure people are actually qualified to do the stuff that they put on their resumes to do, pretty much, right? Yeah, it's like I was telling you earlier, you know, when I first got hired at this job, bro, we have to run a mile and a half in 17 minutes. That's nothing to me and T, you know, but you see some of these dudes we work with, they're like 65, you know, and they're cooking the books on this. Then it's kind of one of those, it turns into an integrity issue, and then some of these dudes end up getting fired. But that's what kind of ruined this whole work environment. And you know, it's up to us to try to bring it back. Ensure the safety pretty much of what we gotta do. And
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah, and before we talk more on what you currently do,
Yeah.
let's take it back a little bit further back. After you left the best branch in the U.S. military, the Marine Corps,
Yeah.
Rah.
Right?
what did you do after that?
Oh, bro. Man, I got, so when I got out, you know, so this is what happened, right? I was supposed to stay in and try to push 20, right? Because come on, you know, like I'm realistic, bro. I ain't got no special skills, or at least, you know, I was a tanker, bro. You know, like that's all you learn how to fix shit and shoot shit. So there was no life for me at all, right? And even some of my higher ups, some of my mentors, they even told me too. They're like, the best thing for you to do is push 20, get out. You know, I love what I did. That's why I stayed in 29 Palms for 8 years. You know, I never bothered trying to go anywhere else. But you know what happened was, you know, you guys obviously know the Marine Corps took tanks away, so that kind of made the decision for me. And not only that, I was trying to go MSG, bro. You know, I was trying to. They were like, hey, you missed out on the like B billet time, so you had to go on B bill if you want to re up for your third enlistment, right? Because I was deployed for both of my contracts. So
Real
then they
quick,
were
for
like,
those who don't
yeah.
understand, it's MSG is Marine Security Guard.
Marine Security Guard. Basically a vacation. We all know, right? We all hear like, bro, we always hear horror story. You know where they try to send me, bro? They histed me to go be a drill instructor, right? And I said, hell nah, bro. They gave me my HIS package. I went to go see the career planner. I said, bro, hey, can I switch this over? They were like, nah, once you get HISted, once you get selected for that, you gotta go do that. It's either you go do that or you fail out of that school and then you get a bad fit rep and then you probably won't see staff on. It was all of that, right? So then I was like, my biggest mistake, and I think a lot of Marines do it, bro, is try to call the Marine Corps' bluff, right? Because I was a tier 1 Marine and I thought I was hot shit, and I was like, they don't want to lose me. I was like, I'm getting out, bro. I'm getting out, you know? And bro, you know what the Marine Corps said? He said, all right, well, bye, motherfucker. bro, it was like, man, hey, that shit hurt me, bro, because I was like, man, I'm putting in work, you know, all these years for these dudes, man. And then it was like, you know, they were pretty much, hey, everybody's expandable in the Marine Corps, bro. Not a single person, but I still love it. When I got out, like, I didn't have anything lined up. Like, to be honest with you guys, I didn't have anything, bro. I moved right back in with my mom. I was trying, you know, don't get me wrong, I was just sitting on my ass. I was out job searching, you know, but I was telling T earlier, I was bouncing at a bar, bro. You know, I grew my beard out. One of the Usos, I met a Uso when I was at a bar one night, and he would, you know, I was chatting with him. He was one of the security over there, right? One of the bouncers. And then he was like, "You wanna come work over here, man?" I was like, "Sure, man." Bro, it was a good experience, bro. But I'm telling you, I'm never doing any bouncing at any bars anymore, bro. Because you remember out at 29 Palms, we had the break and run. I could deal with drunk rednecks. I could deal with that, bro. Because at least you could be like, man, I'm gonna see this mother. You know, I'm gonna see him. I'm gonna see this dude, bro. You know, Long Beach. You know, all the surrounding cities, bro. If someone comes and punches you in the face, you ain't gonna see them never again, bro. So stuff like that. That's what I was doing. I was bouncing for a while. You know, my older brother, he hit me up, bro. He was like, you know, he stays up in Monterey. He met his wife that's originally from this area that I'm currently staying in. You know, he was like, I need family near me. You know, you're not doing anything. You know, you could come up here. We'll get you on your feet. Which I'm glad, man. It was the best decision I've ever made, bro. You know, I was kind of hesitant at first because I didn't want to depend on anybody for anything. But I came up here. I found a job at UPS. I was a logistics supervisor for a while, right? And the funny thing with that, is that the dude that hired me, they even hired me to be to do any sort of logistics, bro. He hired me specifically to chew people out, bro, because some of these old dudes, they're truck drivers like Johnny, bro, you know, all truck drivers, bro. And these are some old salty ass. Johnny knows what's up, bro. These old dudes, and man, they're like 30 year, right? And one of
Especially UPS. UPS is all union.
yeah. Oh man, hey, bro, don't get me started on the Teamster. You know, it makes me the biggest hypocrite because at my work right now, I'm the union steward, right? But when I was when I was a supervisor, man, I was the biggest enemy of Teamsters. Bro, I was constantly fighting these dudes. It's like, hey, I gotta write you up, man. You didn't make this delivery on time. Oh, bro,
That's union, man. Like, P's and Q's. You got to be on your P's and Q's. You're part of the union.
But James, that's my old boss. He told me straight out. He's like, "Oh, I didn't hire you on your logistics skills. I hired you to write these motherfuckers up. You know, like all these. Yeah, that's hey, bro. That's exactly. It kind of hurt me, right? But then it kind of made me feel good too. I was like, damn, bro. Yeah, I thought I got the job because I was because you like my resume, but I guess you were paying attention more to the freaking Marine Corps part, right? Because like he needed us because my counterpart, the one that was running the logistics, bro, man, this dude he couldn't tell a mouse to stop eating cheese, bro. This dude, he was getting punked. He was getting punked by these 60-something-year-old truck drivers, bro. They were like, hey, Mr. Miller, you didn't make your delivery. Fuck you, man. All right, sir. And I mean, you know, he'll come and tell me like, hey, Julius, can you go talk to Mr. Miller real quick, please, man? You know, his voice is shaky. He's like, can you go talk to Mr. Miller real quick, please? I got you, man. Hey, come here, Rob. Come here, motherfucker. You know. Oh, bro, I'll get in yelling matches with these dudes, bro. And then, you know, they'll bring up, hey, bro, you know, these motherfuckers will always bring up their experience. I've driven trucks for 30 plus years. I don't give a fuck. Sign the dotted line right here.
Oh, man, that is like the biggest truck stigma. You ain't called yourself a truck driver unless you've driven 20 years minimum. That's all they like to throw out. 30 years of trucking. Yeah, okay.
The thing, so here's the thing, right? The thing was the truck drivers love me, bro. These dudes will bring me cookies from their wives, you know, and it wasn't like no ass kissing. It was just the fact, like, you know, a lot of them are older conservative dudes, right? So when they found out I was in the Marine Corps, and a lot of them, you know, they're from that generation. It was like, oh, I could have joined, but my back, you know. So it's like they respect that, bro. I think it would have been the same with any. It's just
I would have punched out my drill instructor.
yeah, you know. But they were all cool dudes, bro. You know, it's just stuff like that, you know. But a lot of them, man, you know, Johnny, you know how truck drivers are, bro. It's like you can't tell them shit, right? Like, we had this one dude named Terry, man. He was a conspiracy theorist. This dude will sit there and I'll be like, hey, Terry, how come you fell asleep on the freeway? You know, your tracker says you were asleep there for like 10 minutes. He was like, oh, well, you know, you do know the water and it's contaminated by the government. So I had to drink. You know, bro, he'll start making up some out of line excuses. I'm like, so now I'm sitting in front of the union steward like, bro, like, are you gonna let me write him up now or what? Because that, you know, contaminated water by the government, that's not a good enough excuse for why you're sleeping on the freeway in an 18-wheeler. You know? Yeah, bro. So I went on that, right? I got tired of that because they had me working the graveyard shift. That's when I started looking. You know, bro. I was so desperate to find something stable and something that I'll, you know, like drawn to, right? With something that I could feel like could have reached my full potential. I feel like sitting in an office, having my own office was cool, but you know, like just staring at a computer all day. So I went on to USA Jobs, bro. Came across here, right? And USA Jobs had these overseas contracting opened up. So I applied for that, and then I applied for here at the Presidio, right, to do the federal security guard. Bro, now let me remind you, gentlemen, man, when you're reading like the description on the job thing, right? And you're thinking it's some like tier 2 special forces shit, right? I'm like, damn, bro, I hope I get hired, right? I hope I get hired here. So I got referred, and then I didn't even get an interview, bro. They were just like, oh, this is your start date. So I showed up, right? I'm thinking I'm about to meet some operators, bro. I'm like, damn, I'm out of shape. I even got in shape too, bro. Like 2 months, I was pushing weight, right? I was in the best shape since I got out of the Marine Corps. Bro, I showed up, bro. It's this fat slimy dude giving me my ID, bro. I'm like, damn, bro.
You're walking into like thinking of security forces.
Oh, bro, hey man, hey, I was watching 13 hours of Benghazi before, I was like, damn, bro, I'm about to, man, I'm about to do some operator ass shit right now, bro.
Did you get your American flag ball cap, quick bend in the middle?
Oh, nah, we got those. You know how the Army does it with their never retreat flags, right? Hey, John, be honest. Hey, my Marine brothers, bro. That's a whole different culture, bro. Like T will tell you, bro. You probably understand it better than me, but just us being from the culture, from the military culture we came from, I have to try to explain it to some people, right? I'm like, nah, I don't understand that. Why you guys do that? One thing I do love about the Army though is that they put all their shit on their uniform, right? When they walk around, you could tell who's who. Like, this ain't no boot ass motherfucker. You could tell who's like the dude that's seen some shit, the dude that's awarded the most, the shit bags. That's one big thing I like about them. But even like, I don't know what is it with them, bro. But I feel like the Army is just super big. I got a lot of respect for them. They're my employers, so I gotta say this on a podcast in case someone's listening. Yeah, I love the Army, guys.
Disclaimer.
Good disclaimer, yeah. See, man, I'm gonna walk into work tomorrow. It's like, I heard
He's doing that Marshawn Lynch. I'm just doing this so I don't get fired.
Yeah, bro. So that's how I ended up here. That's about it, man. I had to work my way up because it's based on seniority, and the longer you've been there, depending on the amount of people. But bro, to be honest with you guys, man, it wasn't it. One big thing I noticed, right? So there's only ever been like 4 Marines were federal security guards there, right? And we were always the golden child. So that's what they call every time a Marine gets hired on there. I thank God every day they don't hire the shitbag Marine because we got a good rep going on over there. Even the service members, bro. Like on that base, it's such a small base, right? But the Marine Corps detachment is even smaller. So when the other services are doing their thing, like doing their barbecue gatherings, the Air Force having theirs, they invite the Army to come over, and then the Navy will come over and join them. You don't see any Marines, bro, because you know what? Them motherfuckers are in their rooms studying, bro, because they're on student status, and they know that, bro. Like it's crazy. It's crazy, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, you should see the Air Force, because I'm an airman. I'm a proud airman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you?
No, I make that joke because when I hired on as a civil service, because I'm an electronics mechanic on one of the Air Force bases here in Utah, and the commander for, well, I would say general for the base here, he told us to refer to us as airmen so that we would feel the unity together with active duty and reserve people here. So I love the Air Force. I'm gonna say that.
Crossing to the blue. There's too many disclaimers on this episode.
Hey, you never know who's listening, bro.
That's true. So, like, as we progress into this, reason why we brought this up, because our podcast is catered more towards a lot of the issues, and not just issues, but a lot of the everyday life agendas and addendums that occur within the Polynesian community, more so focused to the Samoan community. And so we recently did an episode on the Uvalde shooting, and I know a lot of us are familiar with the Uvalde shooting. And we found it interesting when T was telling us about the fact that you were a trained shooter for the, what do you call it? For the active shooter. You're trained in the active shooter. And so, we're kind of cross-analyzing back and forth. And so we kind of wanted to get your expertise and your take on, for those who are watching, what you would perceive as be the best way to approach an active shooter incident.
Me personally. So when I was at the school, right, it's this guy in the cop world, right? He's a legendary dude. His name is R.K. Miller. You guys could go look him up. He owns his own business. He was actually a Marine, and he's a retired police officer, but he's older. He's a police officer in the 70s. He was a Marine in the 60s. He pretty much ran down not extend anything a little bit, but basically to me, if there's an active shooter situation going on, right, and you're not trained to do so, the best thing to do is just stay out of the way, right? Because of what happened in Uvalde, the person that ended up taking the shooter out was a Border Patrol agent. He those are the kind of people, and that's not saying, so for example, right, like for us right here, right, if there was an active shooter going on, right, now we like Johnny as a truck driver could be like, okay, I can stay back, right? But then he has military background, so it's like, okay, I have the confidence to go in here, right? Try to save these people, because this ain't one of those like those bank heists, like, oh, don't be a hero, because those are the stuff. It's like, oh, I got hostages, There's an end point where I want money, or there's something I want, so I'm holding these people until you give me what I want. That's not the case with active shooters, right? Active shooters are people that are already over it. They're either doing it for extremist reasons, like super extremist beliefs, and they're ready to die, bro. They're like, there's never been a case where an active shooter goes and kills all these people, and it's like, oh, I don't want to die. Like, they're ready to go, bro. So I mean, if you have the means to do so and act on it, then please do. But it's like, if it was up to me, I wouldn't ask that out of someone who's never trained with weapons, or who was never trained in any tactics like that, right? But if you feel like you're brave enough to save people, like I understand, even if it's like a IT manager and his kids were stuck in a school building, I feel like as a dad, he's just not gonna stand there and do shit, right? What happened in Uvalde, man, it's such a terrible thing that happened, right? A lot of people blame these officers, including me, bro. I was one of the first ones. I even got a post that's still up on Facebook. It has their SWAT team, and I'm just like, these guys are trash. But after what I seen on Friday, bro, we had 3 different departments there, right? One department brought their higher ups, right? Brought the sergeants, the lieutenants, the chief, the 4-star, and then the other department brought the rookies, bro. So we were the ones that were hosting, right? So the plan, our plan of action was, since we were gonna be the closest to respond, we were gonna respond first, right? They weren't gonna come in the second wave. So of course, us, we went in, we cleared the whole thing, killed or took out the shooter, right? Rendered first aid, which kind of weirded out a lot of the civilians, because the way I was trained first aid, like, it's just a habit, right? Mark time and date on the forehead, right? If they're dead, right? You know what I'm saying? So some of the newscasts, because this was on our big news thing right here, right? Like, I looked up, it was like a simulated thing, but I was simulating writing on their forehead, right? And they're like looking at me like, what the hell are you doing, right? Time and day, right? Like, so anyways, so after we cleared out the thing, right, you're usually supposed to do a second sweep. But I ended up guarding a basement door that we couldn't get to open, but we never know if it opens from the outside, right? So one of the other guys that I was with, he went and grabbed the rookies, bro. Like, I don't know. Like, I'll send you guys the link to the video, right? You'll see a huge difference between like the way we came in and the way these guys came in, right? And then this is what made me understand of what happened in Uvalde wasn't exactly on the officers, right? It's always that saying like, oh, I blame your NCOs. When a private fucks up, it's like, you can't blame the private, bro. He doesn't know shit. I blame your higher ups, bro. because that's what happened. These guys are so good. These street cops are a lot of them are good people. They're good at what they do when it comes to ticketing, and reacting, like the stuff like that. But when it comes to all out like combat shit, you got to understand a lot of these guys, they're not trained for that. That's what their SWAT teams are for, that those are the dudes getting all the funding. But most of the time the SWAT teams are like, they're QRF, bro, and they're like miles away,
That's interesting. You brought that point up specifically. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
It was because you're pushing this point between QRF, which is military jargon for quick react force, and usually it's your break glass in case of emergency in a tactical standpoint. Now with QRF and your SWAT, which is designed to handle high tension situations such as this active shooter situation. Now, and then there's also your standard post-certified standard police officer, which is I don't want to call them rookies because a lot of them have the tenure to have been involved or have been a cop for a certain amount of time, X amount of years, 10, 20, so on and so forth. And a lot of them sometimes don't see as much action or as much practical application of the tactics involved with active shooting. Now, the reason I'm bringing this is because now we're looking at, instead of with what happened with Uvalde, everybody's blaming cops. I'm looking at now 3 different perspectives. You have your tactical side, which is your SWAT. You have your standard officer, which is your regular everyday police officer that handles regular, traffic stops, arrests here and there, your regular burglary incidents and stuff like that. And then you have the civilian side when it comes to active shooter. No background whatsoever, no weapon handling abilities, no experience whatsoever with tactics involved with how to be the fight or flight with emphasis on fight versus flight. Now I know I've seen a couple of active shooter training videos for the civilian sector where they talk about what they're supposed to do. I believe the acronym was like fight, hide, or run or something like that.
Yeah,
I was never trained in that aspect, but so what's your opinion on that, reflecting all 3 sides?
I mean, it's a good acronym, right? Run, hide, and fight, right? That's meant specifically. See, people got to understand that it doesn't only it raises, as an untrained person, right? It raises your chance of survival, and then it raises the chance of somebody, the responders coming in, right? Like actually getting the people, right? Because the last thing you want to be in is the crosshairs of the people that's saving you's rifle. So if you're the type of person, right, that's like brave enough to confront, now you're going down the hallway with a baseball bat and you're looking for this dude with a rifle. I think we could all pretty much agree that that's not a really smart thing to do. It's the brave thing to do, but no one ever said that the brave thing to do is the smartest thing to do. And the smart thing to do is for you to stay alive and basically do what the Vietnamese did to us in the 60s or 70s, bro. You run, right? Pop off, right? Make fun of them a little bit. They're gonna shoot at you, and then keep doing that, distracting them the whole time, while people that are responding to it are coming in, to finish the job off.
I like that. Now, we're going to touch more on that too, because I'd like to throw a little bit of a question out there to T, just because you fall in the same spectrum with Jay. And, just real quick, do you have any input on this?
I completely agree with everything he's saying. I mean, the run, hide, fight is mainly that type of training. At least I've been in one specifically designed for run, hide, fight. And that's mainly for like civilians who don't know what to do in that situation, not really trained, but they're just pretty much saying what you already know. You could run, get out of the area, you could hide, try, hopefully the active shooter doesn't find you, or you can try to fight and be the hero of the day, or at least slow them down till the actual help arrives. So in that respect, yeah, I completely agree, and even everything mentioned beforehand on the previous question with the different levels of training and those training. And like he said, how he wanted to go and get certifications because of the credibility of those there before him. That's definitely important too, because we don't know if those trainers put in place at those different departments are enthusiastic and really know what they want to do. And enthusiasm has a big impact, in my opinion, on people really retaining and learning and wanting to go and learn more.
Thanks, T. And Jay, I'd like to appreciate you. That is our time. Please like, subscribe, and follow us on YouTube, Spotify, and all your major social media apps. I'm grateful for Jay for joining us in this evening and for your input and your professional opinions. Thank you. This is Behind the Lava Lava. Please join us next time.